Dan, you went uber viral basically over the past couple of months for being on I Am Shauna Rae, for dating her.
I think the craziest thing was when the show aired, because it aired in December in the US, no one really cared. Because everyone who watches the show sees her as 23. They don't see her as being 8. But then it aired in the UK, and then the UK media got hold of it, big headlines, then it went viral overnight. And then most people didn't even watch the show. They'd never even heard of Shauna. They just read the headline. And that's where sort of all this hate came from, and it made it go even more viral.
Okay, so you're saying we can blame the damn Brits, like they're
the Brits. Yeah, definitely the Brits started it.
Okay, good. Anytime we can take some heat off America, that's a good no.
Yeah, it was fine when it aired in America. I got like a little bit of hate, but not much. But then when it hit the UK, boom, like overnight. Like I was in a meeting all day, and my phone just kept pinging like constantly. And everyone I'd ever met in my life, it felt like, from childhood to traveling in all different countries, were sending me these articles, like everywhere, in all different languages, all over the world. I had people reach out saying it was on like the national news in Iran. It was on like all the biggest newspapers in China. It was everywhere.
In China?
All over the world. And I was like, oh, this is crazy. And I messaged Shauna and she's like, yeah, I know, I've seen it. And yeah, with that just came this big, huge amount of hate. And I felt like the world was crushing me because obviously the media and people, YouTubers as well, they categorized me in the most hated group of people on the planet. Obviously, because of Shauna's condition, they put me in that category. And I just felt like the world was crushing me. And then I had to sort of talk about it. So I made these videos on my socials, which you've probably seen.
Yes.
Saying how, she's a 23-year-old woman. She deserves to have a real-world connection with someone. And as soon as you take that away from her, you dehumanize her. And then there's all this love came. So I basically lost my faith in humanity, did these videos, and then a huge amount of love and support came. I'm so thankful to the world because that's the lowest I've ever been in my life, with the world sort of crushing me like that. But then the world sort of saved me. All these amazing people had a huge amount of support. And even today, even on the way here, I had like DMs from people saying like, how could you possibly like her? So yeah, it's pretty continuous. But I think I don't know. I guess the people giving hate is because they don't have a lot of, they're taking out because they don't have a lot of love in their own life.
Yes.
So I don't really take it too personally. And also it's a lot of people said, because in my reactions, I was sticking up for Shauna rather than talking about myself. But that's purely because I didn't really think it mattered who I was because I never did anything necessarily wrong. I could have been any other man in the world and I would have got the same amount of hate. So it was never about me. It was always about Shauna and her condition. So that's why I always stuck up for her rather than sort of defending myself, because it was never about me. It was always about Shauna.
I admire how much you I guess you really defend her, and
yeah, I really care about her. I mean, I don't really cry very much, but in one of my videos talking about her, you can see me. I get very emotional. I'm actually crying in the video. She means so much to me. We've been through so much together. And of course, the TV show was a wild experience, but we were always there together supporting each other through it.
Yeah.
So yeah, she'll always have a place in my heart. A big reason why I got so much hate was because, she has this association with the tagline "trapped in the body of an 8-year-old," which she voiced about recently, saying she doesn't attach that to herself. Same with her family, same with myself. We don't associate that tagline with her. So that's the reason why people read that and they think instantly and assume a lot of things about her. They don't realize that she's a 23-year-old woman. She has a period. She shaves her legs. She's had growth in certain areas like every other 23-year-old. They just see like, oh, 8-year-old. And that's why YouTubers were saying videos like Dan Swygart dates 8-year-old. Like some of them literally had that. And that's why people gave me loads of hate, like saying, I was dating an 8-year-old. I was like, she's not 8. Like she's got dwarfism. So that tagline is what created the hate. If it just said, guy dates dwarf, someone with dwarfism, I wouldn't have got any hate.
Yeah.
So that's the tagline is what makes it worse.
When you were with her, one of my gripes about the show is like every time she goes anywhere, I mean, the production pulls like every blessed person they can find and go, oh, what did you think of her side? It's like, okay, let this woman go to the bar, have a cocktail. If people come up and have questions, fine. But I mean, when you were out with her though, because you guys obviously hung out even off the show. Yeah. I mean, did people come up to you guys and say anything? Were they like, oh, is this your sister? Is this your daughter? Like what, did people say anything?
No, good question. We went to a bar together with some of my friends, some of her friends and her sister. and there was like a restaurant. We were eating in the restaurant. Then we went to like a dance floor, and there's a bouncer at the dance floor, and he lets us order. Then he stops Shauna, and then she's showing him her ID, and he's like saying, "No, this can't be true. Like, no way, no way." And then the crazy thing was, in the corner, a TV is playing, and it's her show, and we're like, "Dude, look, like she's on the TV here." And I pulled him away, and I was like, "Look, dude, she's 22. At the time, she's 22. She's 22." And then he let her in the end. But then people were taking their phones out, taking videos of her. So I had to like go up to them and tell them to leave. People came up to me. They were like, is it not past her bedtime? So this is just one evening, and it's just constant. But I think it's crazy because most people who have a TV show, their life changes, but for her, it's given her the chance to have more of a normal life in many ways, because half the people in that club didn't know her, half people did know her. She's pretty famous. Like, we were walking around a park together, everyone's saying, "Hi, Shauna." We go to a restaurant, everyone's saying, "Hi, Shauna." So then people know that she's 23, and they acknowledge her to be 23. So it's interesting because now she can have a normal life from the TV show, whereas most people it'd be the opposite.
Oh, that's so fascinating. I didn't even think about that, because you're right. Now people know her, so they automatically know she's of age.
Yeah.
Like at so many places.
Mm-hmm.
Are you nervous? Okay, with all these stories, right? You went viral, Daily Mail, New York Post, all this. I mean, everywhere you looked. I mean, are you nervous, like continuing to go out and go to business meetings? You're here in LA doing that like it's going to have a negative impact on you? Like, do you have any like PTSD feeling? Or are you totally like, I don't give a shit. This is like, I was on this show. We're friends. I'm not creepy. Like, I don't care what you think.
I like to think that everyone, all my friends, people I do business with, they have the emotional maturity to understand the situation that she's 23, she had cancer, she's got disability, and I was building a connection with her on this TV show as well, and it went viral. So I'd like to think of it like that rather than just reading a clickbait headline and assuming things.
Yeah.
But you don't know. People might have seen it and said something and not told me. But yeah, I don't think there's been that much of an impact negatively.
Good.
Yeah.
Okay, well, what's next for you? I mean, Dan, you are a nice looking man. You're a little shy of 6 feet. I mean, you're hot. What, Are you dating anybody now? What's your status?
No, single still.
Single?
Still. Yeah.
Traveling?
Yeah.
Are you going to be on TV again?
Yes, there's 2. I can't talk about NDA, but there's 2 upcoming TV shows, different to Shauna Rae. Off the back of that, they reached out. So
I think The Bachelor.
you think?
I guess. I think The Bachelor. I think you'd be good on The Bachelor.
No comment.